Before we dive into today's message, take a second to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a drop of motivation that could change your life. Now, have you ever wondered why some people seem to achieve the impossible while others stay stuck in place? What separates the greats from the average isn't talent, money, or luck. It's something much smaller and infinitely more powerful. In this video, we're going to break down the simple but profound mechanism that legends, leaders, and high performers have used for centuries to achieve greatness, and how you can apply it starting today. This is the truth behind real transformation. Welcome to the 1% journey. Section 1. The quiet divide between the ordinary and the exceptional. Take a moment and really look at the world around you. Not the glossy highlight reels online, but the real people in your orbit. In your office, at your gym, within your digital communities, there are individuals quietly pulling off incredible things. They're sculpting strong, capable bodies. They're building businesses from scratch. They're nurturing relationships filled with depth and meaning. And here's what might sting. They didn't start with an advantage you didn't have. No secret inheritance, no perfect timing, no mythical talent. They just moved differently. They understood a principle most ignore. A principle so simple, it almost feels like a cheat code. The 1% mechanism. This isn't another trendy concept recycled by influencers looking for virality. It's not a productivity hack. It's a universal truth. One that echoes through history, from the lives of world-class athletes to the routines of high-performing creatives. You've seen it before, maybe without even realizing it. It's in the slow and steady evolution of legends, the people whose names are etched into the story of excellence. Think about them. The Serena Williamses, the Leonardo da Vincis, the Steve Jobses. What binds them together isn't a burst of brilliance. It's a relentless rhythm of improvement, a commitment to becoming just a little bit better day after day. When people talk about greatness, they often speak in dramatic terms. Overnight success, explosive growth, viral moments. But that narrative is misleading. Real evolution isn't explosive. It's almost imperceptible. The people who separate themselves from the crowd aren't chasing the massive leap. They're focused on the next inch. They've made peace with slow progress because they understand something most don't. The biggest transformations are the ones that unfold over time, almost invisibly. They trust the compounding effect of small wins. They live by it. There's a reason why this principle feels both revolutionary and overlooked. It's not flashy. A 1% improvement doesn't get applause. It's not the kind of thing that lights up social media. And yet, this modest margin is what separates mediocrity from mastery. Not because it's loud or impressive, but because it's consistent. Most people want the outcome, not the process. They want the finish line, not the first step. But those who commit to this quiet discipline, this daily, deliberate refinement, are the ones who change their lives in ways that look impossible from the outside. And it all starts with understanding the deceptively simple power of 1%. Section 2. The hidden mechanics of human potential. It's easy to dismiss high achievers as outliers, to believe they were simply born into the right circumstances, with advantages the rest of us could never replicate. But that interpretation misses the point entirely. The most accomplished individuals across any domain don't just benefit from privilege or luck. They possess a rare understanding of how human potential truly works. In many ways, they understand it better than academics or therapists. They've tapped into deep universal truths about growth and change, truths that stretch across time, culture, and discipline. These truths aren't abstract. They're applicable. They're the foundation for real transformation. The real question isn't whether these truths work. The question is, why haven't you embraced them yet? These ideas aren't new. In fact, they're ancient. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor-philosopher, once reflected that true excellence is not a single act, but the result of repeated habits. Buddha taught that even the smallest drops of water, with enough time, will fill an entire vessel. The wisdom of old still echoes today, and science has only strengthened its message. In Japan, the principle of Kaizen, continuous improvement through tiny, consistent steps, revolutionized manufacturing, and later, self-development itself. And modern neuroscience has confirmed that this method works not just emotionally, but biologically. The human brain reshapes itself through repetition. This isn't hype. This is how we're wired. The problem is that most people are seduced by scale. We crave the dramatic. We want the before and after transformation, the viral revelation, the lightning bolt moment that changes everything. But reality doesn't move like that. In truth, transformation is often silent. The 1% better you get today won't register on a scale, won't earn applause, and won't look impressive, but compounded over time, that invisible effort builds empires. The greatest minds and the most elite performers in the world, from Kobe Bryant to Elon Musk, didn't rely on massive overnight breakthroughs. They relied on the grind, the process of doing the unglamorous work day after day, trusting it would pay off in ways no one else could see yet. So what does this look like for you? It means shifting your entire framework for change. Start by defining the future you want to live in. Don't just daydream. Clarify it. Then reverse engineer that vision into the tiniest possible daily action. Make it so small that it feels almost silly. 1 push-up, 5 minutes of writing, reading a single page. Now comes the most important part. Do that small action with religious consistency. Show up even when it feels pointless, especially when it feels pointless. And when resistance inevitably shows up, in the form of excuses, fear, fatigue, recognize that friction as part of the process. Resistance isn't the enemy, it's the weight that strengthens your will. This is the 1% mechanism at work, not flashy, not fast, but profoundly transformative. Section 3, the silent path to greatness. This, right here, is what draws the line between legends and the rest. Not talent, not luck, not privilege or perfect timing. It's the quiet commitment to inch forward when the world is obsessed with leaps. It's the resolve to keep moving in the dark while others are waiting for the spotlight. The difference between those who leave a legacy and those who leave excuses is deceptively simple. The great ones learn to find strength in the small. They show up when no one is watching. They push forward when there's no applause. They don't chase validation. They chase growth, no matter how invisible it feels. Here's a truth most people won't tell you. The day before everything changes feels just like any other. No fireworks, no revelation, no montage. Just another ordinary day of effort that looks identical to the 100 that came before it. That's why so many people give up, because they don't realize how close they are. But the ones who keep going, they're the ones who understand the rules of the game. They know that real breakthroughs don't arrive with warning signs. They emerge quietly, the result of relentless consistency. That 1% effort, day after day, starts to bend the arc of your life in ways you can't yet see. What separates the extraordinary from the average isn't some secret knowledge. It's the willingness to believe in what seems too small to matter. It's the patience to keep going when logic says to quit. The 1% mechanism isn't a technique, it's a mindset. It's a philosophy that says, I don't need to see the result today. I just need to show up today. And if you do that long enough, the compounding effect does something almost magical. One day the shift becomes visible, not just to you, to everyone. But by then you'll already know the truth. Greatness was never about the result. It was about the process. So here's the real question. Are you willing to step into your own story, not as a spectator, but as the author? Can you commit to that first 1% improvement today, even if it feels like nothing? Because the person you dream of becoming is already waiting for you. Not at the end of a viral moment or a sudden revelation, but on the other side of today's choice. The power isn't in some distant future. It's in the next step. That's what Kobe knew. That's what Da Vinci lived. That's what high performers across every era have always understood. Now it's your turn. The only thing left to do is begin, 1% at a time. Section 4, becoming the miracle. When the world tries to convince you that greatness is reserved for the gifted, that extraordinary outcomes are born only from extraordinary talent, I want you to remember something deeper, something truer. The most powerful force available to any human being isn't brilliance or fate. It's consistency. Not flashy, not glamorous, just pure, focused, intentional effort, repeated over time. While the masses chase shortcuts and miracle fixes, you'll be doing something infinitely more rare, laying brick after brick, forging strength where no one is looking. You'll be doing the work that matters, the kind that doesn't beg for attention, but demands respect. That's how real transformation happens. Quietly, slowly, under the radar. It's forged in early mornings and late nights, in the choices no one sees, in the commitments no one claps for. While others scroll past their goals, hoping for hacks that don't exist, You'll be building something solid, something permanent. And when your results finally emerge, when your effort finally blooms into something undeniable, the world will rush to label it overnight success. They'll never understand the price you paid. They won't see the thousands of tiny victories, the endless self-discipline, the invisible persistence that made it possible. But you'll know. You'll remember what it felt like to show up on the hard days, to stay faithful to the vision when nothing seemed to change. You'll remember all the moments that demanded grit over glory. And in that moment, standing at the summit everyone thought you'd never reach, you'll realize something breathtaking. The miracle wasn't the success. It was you. You were the miracle all along. The person who refused to quit, who chose progress over perfection, who chose discipline over drama. That's who you became, and that's why you won. So let the others chase lightning bolts. You know the truth now. The power is in the step you take today. No matter how small, that's where your momentum begins. That's how greatness is born. Not from a single leap, but from thousands of steps stacked in silence. And you, right now, have the ability to start. The 1% you commit to today may not feel like much, but it's everything. Because one day, when the world finally catches up to what you've built, they'll call it luck, they'll call it talent, but you'll know better. You'll know that it wasn't magic, it was movement. Consistent, relentless, intentional movement. 1% at a time.